The Gem State is changing every day, and as it does, the Idaho Matters podcast will help you know more about the changing communities and governments and cultures of Idaho. Listen to Idaho Matters today at boisestatepublicradio.org or in your favorite podcast app. From the studios of Boise State Public Radio News, I'm Gemma Cadet. More Idaho Matters right now. The holidays are often a time of celebration, but for families who have experienced homelessness and they're still working to get back on their feet, it can also be a time of big financial stress. That's why Catch, a local nonprofit, has started an initiative to help spread a little bit of joy. Their goal is to give parents a chance to create some holiday magic with gifts of their choosing and good quality time. So joining us now to talk more about this effort are Catch's Director of Housing Services, Jeremy Blades, as well as Case Manager Lauren Sensky and Skylar Augenbaugh, a mother who has worked with Catch. I want to welcome all of you to the program.
Thank you.
Jeremy, let me start the conversation with you. Can you talk about the initiative Catch has started and how many families are you hoping to help support this holiday season?
Yeah, we'd like to offer a holiday sponsorship for 76 Catch families. Well, that was our initial goal. Although we're continuing to house families every week, and so any sort of donation would be great.
So, Lauren, what is this time of year usually like for families who have recently been housed with Catch?
Yeah, so I think for families that have recently been housed, it's a happy time, but it's also, a stressful time. I think there's a common misconception that when families do get housed, all of their additional stressors kind of go away. Sometimes a lot of those stressors can even be exacerbated. Things like gifts and meals that we take for granted. Those are stressors for a lot of our families. And so to have donations really, really helps that.
Mm-hmm. Well, it seems to me, Lauren, that even though they're housed, there are still other financial stresses that they're dealing with. And then you put the holidays on top of that stress.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, Skylar, I'd like to have you join the conversation and tell us a little bit about your story and how you first found Catch.
Yeah, so I was pretty young. I was 21 years old. My husband was 21 years old. We were newly pregnant, and I had just kind of suffered a series of unfortunate events over the last several years that had cultivated into long-term unstable housing, if any at all. And finding out I was pregnant, obviously not at a good time, really put things in perspective. And I was like, whoa, we need to figure this out. So I had found out about Catch through the Facebook group, the mutual aid group. They have tons of great resources on there. And that was how I was first put in contact with them.
So, Skylar, my understanding was that you ended up being without a home for a while. And talk to us about what that was like, not just that process, but then that transition into finding Catch and being housed again.
Yeah, so not having housing, it's just a constant stress. There's no rest. I just remember spending a lot of time wishing I could go home and go to bed and relax, and there's no relax. You have to always be figuring out where you're going next and how long you can stay there and how or if you're going to eat. It's just a constant stressor. So getting put in contact with Catch initially was like a glimmer of hope. We were put on a wait list and we had our intake interview, but we knew that something was coming in the near future, and it was just already a relief to know that it was coming.
What's it been like now, Skylar, and moving forward now that you've found Catch?
I'm such a different person than I was before I found Catch. They seriously just helped my life have a full 180. I've been stably housed for almost 4 years now, I believe. I've actually moved once and found housing on my own. I've been the director of a childcare center for over 3 years. My life has just flourished. I've gone back to school. Having that stable housing is the foundation so that you can get a job and further your education and take care of your family properly. And it's just been huge.
Jeremy, just listening to Skylar's story, not only is it inspiring, but this is the entire meaning behind what you do. So with that said, this is what you're hoping for every family that has been in Skylar's position.
Absolutely, yeah. We want every family to succeed, and we want to be able to walk with them on that journey. And it's amazing to hear Skylar talk about being housed for 4 years. That is truly a miracle.
And Lauren, my understanding is you're hoping to provide every family with a $250 gift card, correct?
Yes, that is correct. And we are wanting to gain around $19,000 in order to do so.
Okay, so you're basically wanting the community to step up, right, Lauren, and say, "Hey, can you help? Can we do this for these families?"
Yeah, and I think, right, if people hear Skylar's story, I think that motivates them even further to want to donate. I mean, it's really going towards a good cause, and we want to be able to provide all of our families just with an amazing holiday experience.
So, Jeremy, why was it important to take this approach this holiday season and be able to, I mean, frankly, make the holidays happen for these families?
Well, like Skylar was saying, the experience of homelessness is a very stressful experience. It's a traumatizing experience. And often when we're in those situations, we lose a lot of our power of choice. And so what we wanted to do was empower our families to be able to have some more choice again, to be able to pick out presents for their kids, the presents that they want to get their kids. Historically, we've accepted gifts that were wrapped, and I can't imagine as a parent myself, like giving my kids gifts that I didn't even know what was in it that somebody else bought and wrapped. And so our goal is to give them that power back.
I think that's so interesting, Jeremy, because, I think about even like, our churches, our schools, where every year, right, there's the giving tree and you take something off and you buy a gift and then it goes to folks who are experiencing hardships. But I have to say, this is the first time it's hit me that it's like, oh, wait a minute though. What it is such a beautiful experience to be able to go and buy your children the gifts. And so
Yeah,
can you talk a little bit more about that? Because it's just hit me like, oh, that's not the same. And I don't want to diminish the fact that people are doing this from the goodness of their hearts and they want to help. But there is joy in being able to purchase something for your own children and your own family.
you're absolutely right. I don't want to take anything away from all the wonderful gifts that people give over the holiday season. Those are still needed and amazing, and we appreciate any sort of donation like that. But like you said, our goal in all of our program is to empower our clients, to help give them power of choice again, to help give them autonomy over their own lives, and to be able to have joy in that process.
So Skylar, talk to us a little bit about that. You're a mom now. And what is it like to be able to go out, especially at a time like the holiday season, and pick out those gifts yourself?
It's a really good feeling. Jeremy really hit the nail on the head with the empowerment. That's really what Catch does. And I received Christmas sponsorship through them back when I was housed through them when they were still accepting raffle gifts. And even that was such a moment of empowerment because it felt like I could still, in a sense, provide for my son and make that happen for him. But for them to take the extra step to make it so we could actually go out and have that autonomy and do it on our own and feel like it really came from a place that we went and did the work and picked it out and got to wrap it and take all those steps that we all love to do during the holiday season is really special.
Lauren, where can people donate? How do they do this?
Yes, so please, please, please go on to catchidaho.org. And on there, you'll be able to see the Catch Family Holiday sponsorships, and it will give you an option to sponsor a family. Again, please, please go on there and give our families a wonderful holiday season.
And Jeremy, before I let all of you go, remind us when the fundraiser ends.
We're hoping to have this done within the next couple of weeks so that we give our families a chance to actually do the shopping before the holiday season.
Well, I want to thank all of you so much for taking time to talk with us. We've been speaking with Catch's Director of Housing, Jeremy Blades, as well as Case Manager Lauren Sensky and Skylar Augenbaugh, a mom who has worked with Catch. Skylar, thank you for sharing your story with us. We've been talking about a really special holiday initiative that's working to raise money so that recently housed families can celebrate Christmas and buy those gifts for their families. I'm Gemma Gaudette, and this is Idaho Matters.
We could all use a little help navigating the news these days. The Consider This podcast wants to give you a hand. 6 days a week, we'll help you make sense of the day's biggest news story and what it means for you in less than 15 minutes. Listen now to the Consider This podcast from NPR.